I'm about to raid everyone's secret base. Let's see how rich I can get in 1 hour starting from absolutely nothing. But this time I brought a friend to help who was even more evil than me. So consider your base cooked by the time you see this. The first base was this one that my friend found. I didn't have high hopes on this, and after looking around we didn't find much at all. Until I found a room filled with netherwort. So I snatched all of them and left one like I always do because I'm a nice guy. And luckily the base had some iron so I can make a pickaxe. But when I found another base I noticed it was surrounded by lava. So I went down there and this is what happened. When I came back to the base this time, I carefully mined down away from the lava and accepted my friend's teleport request. He has a hack which allows him to teleport to specific coordinates, so he was able to just teleport right into the base, and then I teleported to him. And what we found was shocking. Right away we could already tell this base has to be stacked with loot because of all the hoppers. So we began looting everything, and when I opened the first barrel, I knew we hit the jackpot because I already found 64 diamond blocks and so many books. So this guy had to be rich. The second barrel had good loot to like a bunch of netherwort and potion materials, and it's almost like this guy knows a duplication glitch or something because he has so many books and leather in here. A lot of these hoppers didn't have good loot on this side, but after looting them we hit the other side and the first hopper had a ton of netherwort. And like I said, this has to be a duplication glitch because look how many books and leather this guy has for no reason. The only way to have this much books would be a mushroom island, but even then, this amount is just crazy and abnormal. I started to raid the hoppers on the left side and instantly found a good sword. But that was about it. Remember at the start of the video I told you that my friend is even more evil than me. He even brings the evil side out of me. That's how evil he is. I usually give all of the loot back when I raid bases alone, but my friend had other plans in mind. He single-handedly destroyed this guy's base block by block, and all I could do was sit there and watch like a good little boy. So that's what I did. Within the matter of about 60 seconds, this guy's base was absolutely cooked. There was no coming back from this, but my friend seemed to have a smile on his face because he is in his natural evil habitat right now. So I let him do his thing while I just sat there and watched it all go down. After he was done, I did an inventory check to see what I gained. I'm officially rich now and it hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. Whose ever base this is might quit Minecraft forever after this, but we learn new things every day. He should have used furnaces to store his loot, slimming the chances of a hacker ever finding his base, but instead he used barrels and hoppers, which in the end got him cooked. Just imagine logging onto your server, and when you spawn into your base, everything is gone, but a sign that says, "Daddy's here." That's gonna be you next if you don't smash that subscribe button right now. But anyway, we joined a new server and my friend found this base, but someone stacked was inside of it. So I handed my friend the pickaxe to use as a weapon because I knew he would hack him for me. But he is a noob hacker, so he ended up killing me by accident and getting kicked from the game's anti-cheat. I still wanted to raid that guy's base, but first, I need to raid another base to get me some armor. That's when I found this little base stacked with a bunch of netherwort. So I snatched up all of that, leaving only one wart left, like I always do because I'm a kind guy. I looted the brewing stands first and then I went for the hoppers to see what was inside, hoping I can find some type of armor so I can go back to that guy's base. Sadly, I only ended up with some iron armor, but that was good enough for me, so I left my signature sign like I always do, and then headed back to the coordinates of that guy's base. When I got there, he was still up there, so I activated my hacks and went after him. As soon as I started attacking him, I knew he was one of them stacked players with the best armor, so I couldn't let him hit me. I tried to keep my distance, but this guy was ready. His thorns were damaging me a lot, and he was smart enough to outsmart me with his instant damage potions, slaying me like a little noob. Poor and greedy. I still had to go check if the base had some loot, but when I got there, just like I thought, he had already grabbed all of his loot, so that base was an overall failure. So I moved on to raiding some more bases, but I kept finding nothing too good for me to be excited about. That's until my friend said he found a base, so I quickly teleported to him to see what was up. It was a hopper base, so we broke all of the hoppers and let the loot come out so we can see. I didn't even expect this, but when I went to put the armor on, I noticed it was the best armor in the game. So now I'm already rich in this server, but my evil cravings haven't been fulfilled. So we found another base, full of so many furnaces, which is the same thing I used to store my loot. So this had to be a somewhat smart guy to keep his loot in furnaces. As I opened the furnaces, I kept getting some good stuff like protection 3 and protection for armor also. It was almost like the more of them I checked, the better the loot was getting. So we were both able to get some of the best armor out of this guy's base. I'm not sure why this guy was smart and dumb at the same time, because he would have been safe with just furnaces. But since he had a hopper down here also, that's what cooked him. After I was finally done raiding, I had so much good armor I had to pass a good set to my friend so I can clear some inventory space. And the next step you should already know by now. Time to leave a sign to let the little guy know, Daddy's here. The next base I found was another hopper base, and when I checked them, there was actually pretty decent stuff in there, like a lot of protection to armor sets and some other good stuff. But nothing to really excite me, to be honest. So I had my friend do his evil deeds and destroy his base for not having good enough loot for the father of all fathers. And then I performed my usual ritual and left my signature sign, letting this base owner know that Daddy was here. We almost gave up for the day, but that's when my friend found something crazy. This base was so nice and had a load of bookshelves and other stashes like hoppers that I couldn't wait to raid. But first, before I loot this guy's base, I saw a sign that was in a perfect spot for me to perform my ritual again, letting this guy know his fathers have arrived. Me and my friend glazed all the bookshelves, and then he gave me his evil look and we both knew what time it was.
Huh?
It looks like my friend already started raiding the hoppers. This is some of the loot he already got from them, confirming this base is for sure stacked. But first I went back to raiding the bookshelves like I was before I was rudely interrupted. Then, I watched my friend break all of the hoppers so we can see what kind of loot this guy has. He had a lot of armor and TNT, but I seen another stash behind the wall I had to check out real quick. But since this guy didn't have good enough loot for the father of all fathers, I was forced to destroy his entire base, because like I said, my evil friend brings the evil side out in me, and there is no going back now. We are already too deep in for regrets. So I lit his whole wooden base on fire and sent it up in flames. And to top it off, I blew TNT up in there before proceeding to our next victim. I kept looking after that, and the next base I found was a hopper base, which is usually a good sign for some good loot. And as I was breaking them, so much loot was spilling out on the floor. I even got like 24 diamond blocks off of this guy and so much other valuable stuff like a sharpness 3 sword, a lot of books, and nether wart with blaze rods. Feeling like the richest guy in the server now, there was only one thing left to do here. I had to let him know with a sign that his father was here, before completing my mission by blowing his little base up. Oh, and by the way, if you don't like this video right now, your base is next. So go ahead and do that for your father. Thanks, bye. I was in the middle of raiding a small base when a guy wanted to teleport to me, so I went so high in the air and then accepted his request.
Bye, have a great time.
I didn't get a notification that he died, but when I went down there to check, you wouldn't believe what this guy had. He was a duplicator, so he had so many god apples, and the best armor and sword in Lifeboat. But this isn't even my server. I just came here to raid bases, so I'm a target now for his whole team. They kept asking me to team so they can teleport to me, but I already knew what was up, so I popped a strength potion and god apple and then accepted his teleport request.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Just as I suspected, he was here to try to slay me for his friend's loot, and I instantly noticed he's eating enchanted golden apples. So he is another duplicator, meaning he basically has unlimited maxed out armor sets and notch apples. And I only have his one set of armor, so when this breaks, I'm cooked. As you can see, he is clearly no match for the father of all fathers. But that's not the problem. His god apples will make this fight last forever, no matter how much better I am than him. The only thing that will end this fight is someone's armor breaking. So, I'm basically cooked no matter what. He kept using these webs on me since he has unlimited loot. I was expecting him to throw some harming potions at me when I get stuck in the webs, but it hasn't seemed to happen yet, so I don't know why he's even using webs on me. If anything, they are just working in my favor when he gets stuck in his own webs. I'm getting way more hits and combos on him. But, like I said, he has god apples which are so overpowered, so he won't take serious damage anyway, even with my sharpness 5 sword. The little guy started to run away after he realized he's being cooked. Then I saw he told his teammate to teleport to him because he needs help, and they are all duplicators with unlimited gear, so if the guy teleports I'm for sure cooked. This guy can't handle me by himself. He's literally like my punching bag. He just keeps running and barely even fighting back. Just goes to show you how overpowered the god apples are, because my damage isn't even phasing him. On top of that, he has a maxed out bow with punch on it, so he can knock me back so far when he needs to create space, but his teammate finally teleported to him, so now I'm officially doomed. But I still went at both of them head first with all my pride on the line, and I also noticed a whole other player to the left of me, which is also their teammate, so I don't know if I'll make it out of this alive. The first guy ran on his friend, but he's back now. I just still kept fighting, praying my armor doesn't break anytime soon, and when I created some space, I checked and I had a bit less than half of my armor durability left, which is basically nothing in fights like these where they have like 3 overpowered armor sets. The only thing keeping me afloat right now is these notch apples I have, but when my armor breaks, they won't help me survive their sharpness 5 swords. And it's almost like the more the fight went on, more and more of their team kept appearing out of nowhere to help them. At this point, I'm looking around and there is at least 4 of them, all against me.
Oh, you wanna fight? You wanna fight? I'll fight all you today!
Not to mention they all have duplicated loot, so they all have the best armor and swords in the game, with unlimited god apples. So at this point, I basically know I can't win this. It's physically impossible, but my pride was in the way. So I just kept fighting back instead of running away. We've been fighting for over 5 minutes now, so I know my armor has to pop soon. And I don't have another extra set, so when my helmet broke, I knew it was time to make an escape. So I made a run for it. I saw a 1-block wide bridge across the lake. So I ran over there and tried to outrun them to the other side, but they hit me back into the water. At this point, I know I lost this battle, so I'm just calling them noobs and bragging about how I got their friends' loot and stuff as I run away from them in the water. But they have a lot of duplicated ender pearls, so it's basically impossible to get away from these guys. No matter how fast I tried to swim away, this Steve guy was right on my trail. So every once in a while I had to turn around and hit him a few times to make him back off a bit, but that didn't work too well. He was literally right on me every time. Plus, it's only a matter of time before another piece of my armor breaks. So I'm getting a bit nervous at this point. Look how he's right on me no matter how hard I tried to get away, but I still had to keep talking mess to them as I run away, to make them even more mad about the fact that I have all of their friends' precious loot. Yes, this was risky, but worth it considering it fulfilled my toxicness a bit. But I was biting off more than I could chew, because another piece of my armor broke. Now I only have half of my armor set. The only thing keeping me alive was all of these god apples I got from trapping that guy. So I really had to get away now. But this Steve guy was still on me with his ender pearls, making it literally impossible to escape because he has unlimited pearls from duplicating. And since me and him are alone now, I tried to fight him back a bit, but having only half my armor, my health dropped way too fast to be able to actually beat this guy, so I eventually retreated again. But he was right on me. His teammate even caught up to us. So now I'm really doomed if I can't escape. One came from above, while one attacked me from my legs. But even with their sharpness, 5 swords and my half-broken armor, these notch apples are so overpowered that it kept me with a good enough amount of health. That's why they don't make these craftable in Lifeboat. But since the duplication glitch, everyone has stacks of them now. I kept running until I made it to shore before them. This was my chance to escape. I hit the jets on them, and Steve was still behind me the whole time. But then finally, after making no mistakes at all while running, I no longer could see his name tag following behind me. So I kept going to make sure I was really safe, and then I had to rub it in their face and tell them my other signature saying,
What a noob uninstall.
But now that that's over with and I survived their assassination attempt, I was on a mission to find their base wherever it is. Because I know they have a stacked base somewhere. I saw them chatting about their base earlier. All I had to do was find it. So I kept looting people's secret bases. Finding decent loot like this base had a ton of diamond blocks, with some other goodies like a Fortune 3 Efficiency 5 pickaxe, and some potions. But this isn't their base. So I kept looking. That's when I found a base at the edge of the map. So I went down there to check it out. It was under obsidian. So after breaking it, I opened it and literally almost passed out. It was their base. Nobody else would be this stacked, so it had to be theirs. They had rows of enchanted golden apples from duplicating and maxed out armor sets with sharpness 5 on every sword in there. Same with the chest next to it, all maxed out armor sets, just broken a bit. I also saw another double chest under some more obsidian behind me, and when I opened it, I knew it was the same clan's loot. It had some more stacks of notch apples and maxed out enchanted armor, all with thorns 3. My inventory couldn't hold all of it of course, so I brought my second account in to pass it some loot. But even with 2 inventories worth of space, they had so much loot that I couldn't even try to hold it all. I kept going back and forth to refill with some more loot, but there was just way too much, so I took what I could and then started breaking the chest. This was for sure my best raid ever. This duplication glitch is making everyone so much more rich than they should be, but now it's patched. So next reset, everything should be back to normal unless someone finds a new dupe glitch. Look how all the loot just spills out of the chest, so satisfying, and the fact that it's my enemies is like candy to my eyes. Just watch how much loot pours out of this chest. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. You know, I had to leave a little sign for them, letting them know their dad was here. Then the next step was to find some lava and burn everything that I can't hold, just because I like the sound of it. Take a listen. I also saw this chest about 100 blocks away from all of this. And it also had some decent loot in there, like 80 diamond blocks, 2 stacks of nether wart, a maxed out sharpness 5 sword, a maxed out power 5 bow, and a silk touch axe. So this had to be the same people's loot, if you ask me. And now, since I know this SM is absolutely stacked with loot, I went to raid more bases to see what I could find. The first base was nice and colorful, but the barrel didn't have much in it. So I just placed my sign, letting them know their dad was here. Then I checked out the tiny farm room because it looked cool. That's when I saw this base with so much barrels surrounded by lava. So I went to go check it out, but none of the barrels really had anything in them. But I saw one secret barrel in the lava. It had some decent loot like diamond blocks and some enchanted armor, but nothing to really excite me like that other base. So I let them know daddy's here, and then kept looking. I found another base on the edge of the map, which looked pretty nice if you ask me. The first chest had trash loot, but the second one actually had some diamonds in there and even a maxed out chestplate. So all I had to do was use an anvil and this chestplate will be brand new. So I snatched that, and then went over to his bookshelves and began to destroy them, feeling extra evil today. I also went over to break his chest since he didn't have enough loot for the father of all fathers. Then I left my sign before heading into the nether to try to find some more stacked bases. That's when I saw this hopper base under the lava. And when I went to go check it out, I realized it was another rich base, clearly made by a duper, because look how all of the enchantments are maxed out and the exact same. The more I looked, the more overpowered loot I kept finding, like my favorite sword in the game, sharpness 5 with no knockback, not to mention all of the hoppers literally filled with the best armor in Lifeboat. They even had thorns 3 on them. The boots even had feather falling also, but to be honest, after that first base, look at my inventory, it's way too full. I can't even grab this stuff. So I went to plan B and began the destroying process, breaking every hopper as the loot spills all on the floor, then igniting a TNT to finish off the job. Using X-ray, I'm raiding everyone's secret base I can find. So by the time you see this video, you should go check on your base because it's probably destroyed and on fire as we speak. Let the raiding begin. The first base I found was at the edge of the map with a bunch of barrels hidden in the netherrack. When I first opened a barrel, I knew this guy was super rich. I instantly found the best armor in Minecraft. It was fully maxed out. This SMP doesn't have netherite, so this diamond armor is the best I could possibly get. Not to mention this guy also had a bunch of maxed out sharpness swords too, making me the richest player in this server in less than a minute. It's almost like every barrel I opened, the loot kept getting better and better. I found way more max enchanted armor sets with so much nether wart and already made potions for me. I'm not sure why this guy was dumb enough to use barrels with all of this loot, but that's not my problem. Maybe he will learn to use furnaces next time to store his loot, being that's the safest option, as of right now. Because almost everyone has barrel and chest X-ray in this server. My inventory was already stacked at this point. I didn't even know what to do with all of this loot. I kept checking the other barrels and more loot just kept coming and coming. So I took what I could hold for now and let my friend fill his inventory up also. But we were both full. I even found the best enchanted bow with power 5 and infinity. So you know I had to snatch that up before my friend does. After that, I put my overpowered armor on, and then my friend told me he sees hoppers below us, which is probably this same guy's loot. So I went down there, and just as I thought, it was stacked with more good loot, like the best pickaxe ever, and a lot of diamond blocks. So we broke all of the hoppers to see what's inside. And here is the raid results. There was way more, but this is all I could hold for now, which is fine with me, because not even 5 minutes ago I was poor with no loot at all. I had to go back up and leave my signature sign that I always leave in people's bases after I destroy them. And then, some little noob teleported to me. He looked pretty scared of us though, so I handed him all my good loot to clear my inventory up a bit. He seemed pretty thankful, like he never seen this type of loot in his entire Minecraft career. So I placed a sign and told him who I am. He read the sign like a good little boy and said okay by crouching. But my friend, my evil friend, had other plans in mind. But I felt bad, so I ended up giving him all of the rest of my loot I had on me. But my friend must have felt some type of way about that, so he reacted like this.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
The next base my other friend found for me was this sky base. I don't know why anyone would keep their loot in a sky base. It's just simply not smart. But anyway, I kept finding some decent stuff like diamond armor and tools. And when I looted the other secret barrel, I even found some diamond blocks with some enchanted armor and tools also. So I snatched that up and continued to raid everything else. By the language on the signs, it seems like this might be a Turkish base, so I hope all of the Turks don't come after me for this video, because the Turks all stick together, so I might be cooked if they see this. But anyway, while looting more things and searching around, I realized that this is actually a really nice house. Just look at this room, it's so detailed and colorful. I liked it so much that I had to place my sign and claim this house as mine. I even had the nerve to take a picture in front of their Turkish paintings, but when I went upstairs to the rooftop, my worst nightmare came true. The next base was a hopper base in the nether that my friend found. Right away, I found an efficiency 3 pickaxe, and then we broke all of the hoppers to show the loot. It was a pretty decent raid, full of a bunch of random good stuff, but then my friend tapped me to show me something. It was an almost maxed out sword, which is good enough for me, so I left my signature again to let this base owner know that his dad was here. I kept finding some bases with a lot of chests and barrels, but when I went to loot them, there wasn't really enough good loot to get me excited like the other bases. But I can't give up now. I need to destroy more people's bases. So I kept looking until finally I found a base with some barrels and chests. When I opened them, they had a lot of diamonds. Literally over 2 stacks of 64 diamond blocks. I even found some nether wart in there too, and a good axe. But that was about it. So I continued my search until I found a hopper base in the nether. But the only good thing it really had was some blaze rods. So I found another hopper base, and it had some average loot in there with some average enchanted armor. But none of this was exciting me like the first 2 bases. So I needed to find something like that again, or better. For some reason, someone left their bookshelves in the wide open inside this nether fortress. So we snatched them up, and then I went to the overworld and found this base. I think it's a Spanish-owned base by the language on the signs. These chests didn't really have much good loot, but there was a lot of chests and barrels left to raid. I even found some sugarcane, which is kinda rare in this server, but I needed something better to fulfill my evilness, so I kept looking. But before I search anymore, this looks like a perfect spot to put my signature sign, letting them know, Daddy's here. This base had a lot of rooms with crops growing in them, but sadly the chests didn't have any good loot in them, so I ended up coming out empty-handed on this base. But then, I saw a hopper base nearby, so I went to loot it. This base actually had some decent things that I can't complain about. It had a bunch of diamond armor and tools, and even had a power bow for me. One of the hoppers even had 30 books, but this still wasn't enough for me to feel satisfied. So I kept looking. My client said hoppers were here, so I went to check it out, breaking all of the hoppers to expose the loot, which was actually some decent loot, but not good enough for me right now. So I continued my mission to find a stacked base. That's when I found this one base. It had so many brewing stands in it for some reason, but no storage items like hoppers or chests. So I broke the furnaces to see what was inside, but they were empty. So I left my sign to let him know his father was here. Then I found a netherwart farm, so I snatched them all, leaving only one left because I'm such a nice guy. I got the coordinates to another hopper base, and when I went there to check it out, I broke all of them to expose the loot inside. And I wasn't mad at what it had. Some decent diamond armor, diamond blocks, and even some netherwart. But this still didn't satisfy me, so I found another base, which was loaded with a bunch of barrels. It also had a nice netherwart farm going, but before I snatched them up, I needed to check these barrels. Sadly, as I was searching them, I realized that they probably don't have what I'm looking for. The only decent thing I was able to find was this efficiency pickaxe, But still, that just wasn't enough for me, so I went to raid the little guy's netherwort farm. But that's when I noticed 2 barrels hidden behind it in the walls. Finally, the base I've been looking for so long. This guy literally had so much good stuff. He had a ton of diamond blocks, enough leather for max enchanted books, netherwort, gold, armor, and even a nice sharpness 3 sword all in this one barrel. So I snatched what I could fit and then searched the next barrel right next to it. This one was even better than the last barrel. It had sets of protection, 3 enchanted armor, some harming splash potions, a bunch of bookshelves, sugarcane, and more. Now, for the fun part. After leaving my signature sign, we began to single-handedly destroy this guy's base, sending it up in flames and breaking all of his barrels. Then, my friend thought he was safe, so this happened. Starting with absolutely nothing, let's see how rich I can get raiding everyone's secret base using X-ray. Let the raiding begin. My first base I found was this one in the Nether. I just randomly joined a server and realized this SM was full of so many Spanish clans. So right away I assumed this was a Spanish clan's base. So I'm probably cooked if they see this. But anyway, the base was so nice, I had to take a look around and admire the structure of it before I started the destroying process. I mean, just look at all of these diamond blocks. These guys are clearly so rich. I for sure just hit the jackpot. So after looting the furnaces for their gold, I began to break the hoppers to see what was inside, and loot just kept spilling out of them, which was like eye candy to me. I realized I got so much gold from them already that I decided to make 21 golden apples out of it because I already had apples on me. Then, it was time to start destroying this masterpiece. So I began breaking all of the diamond blocks, hoping nobody comes back while I'm doing this. Because if they do, I'm cooked for sure, because I didn't even put any armor on yet. So I kept breaking the diamond blocks, and by the looks of it, I already have about a stack of them. So by the time I'm finally finished breaking every diamond block in here, I should be super rich with around 4 stacks of them. Finally, when I got done breaking all of them and looting the barrels which sadly had nothing in them, I made me some diamond armor to feel a bit more safe in here. Then, I left them a lovely sign, letting them know their father was here, which will probably get me cooked by the Spanish, but f*** it, you live and you learn, right? But anyway, I found another base in the Nether, but when I was mining to it, this happened. I still had the coordinates, but it was surrounded by lava, so I used gravel to make me a trail down with no lava. When I got down there, instantly I seen a nice nether wart farm, the handsome pigman guarding it. But he is a noob, so I just snatched all the water, only leaving one left because I'm a nice guy. Then I began to break all of the hoppers to see what was inside. Right away, good loot started spilling out, like nether wart and a bunch of potion materials, and then a bunch of diamond blocks poured out. Curious to see how much there actually is, I went to snatch them up, and when I checked my inventory, I was surprised to see it was almost 40 diamond blocks, and a bunch of other good stuff for potions.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
After the biggest fail of 2025, I was back to nothing again, but I somehow found this nice base. The first thing I noticed is all of the hoppers and bookshelves in there. So after taking a look around, I began to break all of the hoppers to expose what was inside. It was some pretty decent loot like diamond armor and some other stuff, but not enough to excite me, to be honest. So after taking a quick look through it all on the ground, now it was time for me to destroy all of this guy's books. In this server, bookshelves are actually very valuable because cows are hard to find, and the chests don't spawn books in them like they used to, so it takes a while to get bookshelves to enchant. After that, I did a quick check on the furnaces for loot before leaving my signature sign, letting this guy know his dad was here. Then I used my flint and steel to send all of his loot up in flames, as he deserves this for not having enough good loot for his father. But anyway, I joined a new server to find some more bases when I saw this huge mansion sitting on a lake. It was so nice that I decided to walk up and try to claim it as mine in front of their faces, but that didn't go too well for me. But the house was right at the spawn point. So I went back to finish my mission and claim this mansion as mine once and for all. So that's what I did, as this little guy just let it happen. This time he allowed me to enter his mansion and take a look around, admiring this masterpiece and glazing its perfection. That's when I headed up the stairway to check it out. But I saw some signs asking if someone wants to get married, baby girl. So I implied what I thought about that, and proceeded to do my thing. After claiming the mansion as mine, I went back to the main mission, destroying people's bases.
What?
I switched to a new hack that allows me to see furnaces and other storage units like hoppers, dispensers, smokers, and even blast furnaces, so I raided this furnace base under the lava. It ended up having some pretty decent loot in there, like a lot of diamonds and even a sharpness 3 sword for me. But on the way down I saw some nether wart, so I snatched that up after I found it again. I was lurking on the border for secret bases when I found this barrel, so I checked it out and look what I found in there. Some protection 3 armor, 64 diamond blocks, and even the best sword in Minecraft, sharpness 5. So I snatched that up and then went to loot this furnace base I seen at the bedrock level below it. When I got there I mined the furnaces, and that's when I noticed this for sure hasn't been looted yet. So I broke the cobblestone covering them so I can see what's inside. I instantly found some sugarcane, and then I even managed to find a sharpness 3 sword. So I kept looting more and more, and I found some decent enchanted armor that I can't complain about. But there was more furnaces hidden under the bedrock which had some more sugarcane and enchanted armor in there. The last furnace even had a bunch of leather, which is a steal because now I can have max bookshelves in this server for enchanting. But after that, I saw this guy below me inside his base, so you know I had to approach him.
Surprise, motherfucker.
The little guy was no match for the father of all fathers, inevitably falling victim to my sharpness 5 sword, but he set his spawn here, so he just kept trying to get revenge on me, but that didn't work out too well for him. After slaying him multiple times, I flew up to go raid some more bases. I managed to find this cool looking nether base in the middle of nowhere, but it didn't have any chest or hoppers, so I went to check the furnaces, which gave me a decent amount of gold for some gold apples. After that, you know, I had to leave my signature sign before I go raid some more bases. That's when I found this small base under a blaze spawner, and when I went to check the loot, I instantly found a diamond armor set, but that was about it. So I continued to the next base, which was at bedrock on the roof of the nether. It had so many hoppers, so I was sure I'd find something here. The first 20 hoppers I checked didn't have much, but then the loot started to get better and better. I was able to find over a stack of gold, and the more I looked I kept finding more and more diamond armor that was enchanted. But overall, this base disappointed me because I thought it would for sure have way better loot than this. But at least I was able to get some protection 1 diamond armor. And I even found 50 diamonds in one of the hoppers, so I can't really complain too much about this raid. So I left my sign and continued on to the next base, which was another base under a blaze spawner. But this one had some nether wart for me, so I snatched that up and then broke the hoppers to see what was inside. But as I expected, it wasn't anything too good, just some blaze rods and other useless stuff. So I went over by the brewing stands and broke them, which had nothing. But when I broke the barrels above them, they had some decent potion stuff, like some speed potions and some more loot I can't complain about. Now you know what time it is. Time to leave my sign to let this guy know his dad was here. I was about to give up for the day on raiding bases, but that's when I saw 2 chests above me in the nether roof. The first chest didn't have much, but when I opened the second one, I knew I was officially rich. It had a ton of the best armor in the game, which even had thorns 3 on it. He even had loads of golden apples, making me rich enough to last until the next reset. At this point, there is really only one thing left to be done. I need to place a sign and let this little guy know that the father of all fathers was here.
I saw a base with barrels in it around bedrock on the roof of the nether when I went to go check it out. Instantly I noticed the nether wart, but I saved that for later and searched out the base a bit more, finding a maxed out enchanting setup. Then I went to check out the barrels, which had the craziest loot in there, like 18 diamond blocks, 14 golden apples, and so much other potion materials. At this point, I'm already rich and only 30 seconds into raiding bases, so make sure to like the video right now or your base will be my next victim. I even somehow found a sharpness IV sword, and a crazy pickaxe with silk touch on it too. After that, I went to steal this guy's nether wart, but I always leave one left because I'm a nice guy sometimes. Then I went to take all of his bookshelves, which are hard to get in this server because cows are so rare. So I gladly snatched those up, and then went to leave this little guy a sign, letting him know his dad was here before proceeding to my next base, which I found in the overworld. Instantly, I already saw bookshelves and sugarcane, and then I even found a huge netherwart farm, which I gladly snatched up. I left one for the little guy in case he needs it, and then looked around the base more, and these chests caught my eye because I realized they were behind a wall hidden. So I had to check those out first before I look around any further. The first chest didn't really have anything crazy, but he had some decent stuff like potions, TNT, and sugarcane. But the second chest was absolutely stacked. It had protection armor, with a sharpness 3 sword, and a power 3 bow, so I was already satisfied with his base. The third chest even had a lot of potions already pre-made, along with 13 netherwart for me. After that, I went and destroyed some of his sugarcane, then proceeded to the bookshelves. And just when you thought I couldn't get any more evil, I had the urge to blow up this guy's whole base for not having a sharpness 5 sword for me in here, which is totally unacceptable for the father of all fathers. Oh, and by the way, if you don't like the video and subscribe right now, your base will be the next base I pay a visit to in the next video. But anyway, I found another base with a bunch of chests almost near bedrock level, and it even had a max enchanting setup with a bunch of bookshelves. And when I went to loot these chests, instantly I found a half of a stack of netherwart, sugarcane, and so much leather. But to be honest, it was nothing good enough to make my tip tingle. So I went to destroy the little guy's bookshelves, and then I had to leave a sign letting him know his father was here. But then I found this house literally floating so far up in the sky. It had a sugarcane farm outside, and the inside was so nice. I'm not sure why anyone thought this was smart to make a base up here though. He even had like 3 stacks of diamonds in the first chest I looted. But the rest of the chests didn't really have anything too good in them. So I just went on to take all of his bookshelves, and he had a lot, so it kinda took a while. I saw this bed and decided to claim it while I was here. Then I went to go destroy his little sugarcane farm for not having enough loot for me, but at least I got some armor to feel a bit safer. After looking around a bit, I found this base in the overworld. It had some netherwart growing, and a huge underground farm with other crops growing. When I went to go loot the chest, I found a lot of netherwart and a bunch of potions already pre-made for me. Then I found a decent amount of diamonds, but the other chests didn't really have too much good loot in them. So, you know this guy has to face his consequences for not having a valid amount of loot for the father of all fathers. So I claimed his bed, and then began to destroy his netherwart farm and his sugarcane too. That's when I found another sky base way up in the air. I guess these guys think hackers can't find their base this far up for whatever reason. Instantly I noticed it had some netherwart, so I snatched that up and left only one remaining. And the barrels sadly didn't really have any good loot besides some webs for me and normal diamond armor. So I left the little guy a sign and then went on about my day to raid more bases. That's when I found a barrel base at bedrock level, literally on the border of the map. I guess this guy thought he was slick, but that's the first place I look, is the edge of the map for bases. But anyway, the first barrel had a lot of diamonds and 58 bookshelves, and the more barrels I kept looting, the better and better the loot was getting. But it wasn't the best armor, so it still didn't make my tip tingle yet, to be honest. Even though this guy has like unlimited diamond armor sets, none of them were maxed out. So I was still on a mission to get a S5 sword at least, and some protection 3 armor or better. That way I can feel like a top guy in this server. I seen these hoppers to the left of me. The first one had some extra diamonds, but the second was a surprise for me, as it had 20 diamond blocks, some netherwort, and a few golden apples. Then I headed back to the nether to try my luck here again, when I found a small hopper stash that had 7 golden apples and some strength potions, which I can't complain about. That's when I ran into this little guy while searching for another base to raid, so I decided to pick a fight with him because I have a pretty decent sword and armor already. But the little guy was no match for the father of all fathers. He began to run, but there was no escape. I flung the little guy into the lava and just watched him burn before proceeding to my next base to raid, which was this one, stacked with a bunch of barrels. But most of them didn't have a lot of loot in them besides this one with over half a stack of diamonds, and this one with a few potions in there for me. So before I left to raid some more bases, I left the little guy a sign. Then went back to the overworld to try my luck again when I found this base disguised as the nether. It was pretty nice and had a lot of barrels in it that I had to loot, which ended up having some decent armor in only one of these, but not the best at all. But when I went downstairs, it had a nice little netherwort farm, so I snatched those up and left only one left like I usually do. The barrels right next to it didn't have any loot though, so I left the noob a sign letting him know his dad was here. And then I moved on to my next base, which was only 2 barrels. But when I checked them, they were absolutely stacked with over 3 stacks of diamonds and a bunch of other goodies. But nothing good enough for the father of all fathers. So I moved on to a new base. It was a huge base in the overworld, stacked with a bunch of barrels and chests, so I was expecting it to be super rich. But sadly, literally every barrel and chest I opened had nothing at all. That's when I saw this chest hidden under the floor, and when I checked it, at least it had almost a stack of diamonds. But that was it for that base, so I found another one at the border of the map. And after checking the chest, I didn't find anything at all that was good enough for me. But I saw these cows trapped in a small cage, so I decided to let them free before going to loot another base in the overworld. But the chest didn't really have much to get excited about. It only had 10 diamonds, and the next chest had some more. So I destroyed his sugarcane farm for not having good enough loot for his father. That's when I somehow found another sky base way up in the air. This must be the new trend or something, because this is like the 3rd or 4th one I found already in this server. When I got inside, I was greeted by about 50 chickens yapping at me. So I said what's up to their leader and then looted the base for anything good I could find. But sadly, all of these chests didn't really have anything good at all, and neither did every single hopper. So I decided to get revenge on this guy by letting all of his hard-earned chickens free. They must have been so hard to get up here, but I still had to let them go because he didn't have enough loot for the father of all fathers. But anyway, while I was about to go into the nether to raid some more bases, this guy approached me looking for a fight. But he had maxed out armor and a way better sword than me, so my health was getting low so fast. Even with these golden apples, there's no way I could survive this. But that's when I noticed he was showing me mercy, crouching as if he was friendly. So I went back up there, and he didn't attack me. So I handed him some good loot I found for sparing me. Still curious on why he reacted like that. But I just shrugged it off and headed to the nether. But that's when he said I'm Xylo, so that's why he stopped attacking me. But I had my second channel skin on with a helmet, so I'm so surprised this guy somehow noticed me. So he was for sure a true fan, because my helmet covers my whole face with this skin. But anyway, I found this hopper base and began looting it from left to right. And overall, I came out with 9 extra diamond blocks in the last hopper, before finding someone's secret enchanting room with maxed out bookshelves. But as you know, he didn't have enough loot for the father of all fathers, so he was forced to face his consequences. While looking for bases, some guy sent me a teleport request, so I accepted it mid-air to try to trap him.
Bye, have a great time.
But he must have had feather falling or something, because he survived a fall from so far, and at this point, he was furious at me. So I trolled the little guy from above and told him come to his father. And like a good little boy, he listened. But that's when I realized I have no helmet, and this guy probably has unlimited god apples and maxed out armor like all the other duplicators in this SM. But I still went at him head first after popping my god apple and a strength potion. I was feeling out his PvP skill when I realized he's pretty good, but he's just simply no match for the father of all fathers. Even without my helmet on, I still feel like this guy can't take me out, especially with all of these god apples on me from the last base I raided. But if he has an extra armor set on him, I might be cooked, because I'm not that rich in this server. I just came here to raid everyone's base, because I heard it's the richest server. That's how I have all of this loot on me already. I wish I had a knockback sword, because I would have been sent this guy over the ledge so many times, and his thorns are kinda saving him from being comboed. Plus he has the most overpowered bow in the game, so whenever he needs to create space to eat a god apple, he can just use the punch on his bow to shoot me back like 20 blocks. But I just kept weaving them so I can get up close on him to get some hits. And as you can see, if I had a knockback sword right there, he would have been flung off the edge and probably died from fall damage considering he's already a bit weak. But I just kept applying pressure on him, even without a helmet on. I have this guy eating way more god apples than I am. And he keeps placing his unlimited cobwebs that he duplicated. But then, his helmet broke, so it's an even match now. And he somehow managed to get stuck in his own webs. So I tried to get aggressive as possible as he used his bow to try to buy him some space. But for the most part, he just kept missing me. So I went in for the kill. I got stuck on his web, but I just played aggressive and got up close, until finally he logged out of the game.
What a noob!
But anyway, now that that problem is out of the way, it's time to do what I came to this server for, raid bases. So I found a barrel base, and when I went to check it out, the first chest almost had a stack of diamond blocks with 25 bookshelves, and the second barrel even had the best sword in the game, sharpness 5. And the other barrels had some armor in there, and 22 nether wart. But to be honest, if you watched the previous video before this, you'll know I'm already so rich from raiding my enemy's base, so I can't even hold this guy's stuff in my inventory, which led me only one choice. It's time to let my evil side take full control. As many of you know, I have two different personalities, one nice and one evil, and right now, the evil side has fully taken over. After that, I found a hopper base, but it was under the lava, so I just used diamond blocks to clear it up since I'm so rich. But when I opened them, they all just had one diamond block in each of them, which is strange. So I headed on to find another base. But this guy teleported to me. I needed to clean my inventory, so I was nice enough to give all of my loot. Then I left the little guy a nice sign before flying off into the nether and managed to find these cool structures that I think someone built. But then I thought I'd send that guy a teleport request who I fought earlier. And when I got there, he was fighting two guys and he gave me a look for help. But we were just enemies, so I just let it happen. They eventually logged him out of the game, which is impressive because it looks like they just have unenchanted armor on. But then we were just chilling when the one guy noticed I had max enchanted armor on, so I knew they were already plotting on me. But I wasn't worried because I have a good armor set on. So I went AFK for a second, and that's when they ambushed me.
Surprise, motherfucker!
I didn't swing back in case it was an accident, but then I already knew what it was. They're planning to take me out for my armor, but I literally wasn't even worried the slightest bit, because I'm not that other guy that they were able to make log out of the game and max armor. I'll cook these kids so easily, especially with the fact that they have regular diamond armor on. I should be able to take them out pretty fast even with their S5 swords. But then I noticed they are eating god apples, so that's how they were able to make that other maxed out armor guy leave the game. Even in regular armor, these god apples are so overpowered that it's very hard to take someone out when they have unlimited duplicated god apples. That's why Lifeboat doesn't allow us to craft them. Only 4 of them spawn in the whole map, and that's it. But the new Dupe glitch has these servers out of whack. Everyone has stacks of god apples. As you can see, I'm destroying these kids so bad in PvP. But no matter how many times I hit them with my sharpness 5 sword, they are still not even worried about it because of those notch apples they have. So right about now is when I knew I was in for some deep stuff fighting these two guys. Even though they aren't too good at PvP, they know how to stay alive. Because how aren't they dead yet in regular unenchanted armor? It makes no sense. So I created some space with my webs to get away a bit to drink a strength potion, thinking that will for sure destroy these kids in like 5 hits with my S5 sword. But I swear, I don't know how they are even alive right now and being aggressive. Are notch apples really this overpowered? On top of that, they both told me they have S5s when I asked how they logged the other guy in maxed out armor. So that's how they are able to do this much damage to me. But still, bro, how is this guy not dying even with no chest plate and full unenchanted armor? Shouldn't they be dying in a few hits with my S5? This just isn't making sense to me. And now I know why that other guy was looking at me to please help him while he was getting attacked by these two guys. But now, since I logged one of them out of the game, I can just focus on one guy at a time and apply more damage. But the little guy was smart. He kept running away from me so he doesn't get caught in a small place where I can damage him a lot. I could only hit him a few times before he creates some distance to eat some more god apples to heal up from any damage I've done. But then, I noticed him stop for a second, and he accepted his friend's teleport request. He now has a brand new armor set on him. Are these guys ever gonna die? Look how many times I hit them, but they don't even care. Them notch apples are so overpowered, it's actually crazy. Without these notch apples, these guys would be dead in like 3 hits with an S5 sword, especially with a strength potion. So I literally don't understand how they are living. I even accepted my friend's teleport request thinking they are for sure cooked now, because I gave my friend god apples and a S5 sword earlier, so he should be a good help. But for some odd reason, when I needed him the most, I noticed my friend wasn't even helping me. He was just sitting there recording the whole thing go down, and my armor was literally about to get cooked. I didn't even have an extra armor set because I gave it to that random noob in the nether earlier to clear my inventory, remember? So, assuming these guys have unlimited regular armor sets, I'm feeling like I'm probably cooked soon if they keep this up. Because at this point, all of my armor is on its last hits. And just take a look at my friend just having a good time watching me get attacked by these two menaces, applying me no help at all for who knows what reason. But I still had to be aggressive, so I chased them into the little house to apply pressure in close range. But even with their regular armor and my S5 sword, their unlimited god apples managed to somehow keep them alive from my wrath. I mean, just take a look at how many times I'm hitting these guys. Someone please tell me how he isn't dead yet? I just had him in a corner, smacking him 20 times with a S5, but bro is still alive somehow. And in case you didn't notice, some of my armor broke, so now I'm in trouble. And pay attention to my friend just watching me get cooked in the background. If he helped, we could win this easily, but instead, even with my armor broke, this guy still won't help me. I'm literally getting cooked in the corner right now, and bro's just watching. But anyway, I created some space to put my last broken helmet on when I noticed all of my armor is about to break. So I need to really go crazy on these guys if I want to win this. So I popped a strength potion and went back into the fight. I caught this little guy by himself and had to show him who his father is, comboing him so bad that he got stuck in the corner of the house. Then I put some webs down so he can't go anywhere. That's when he knew he was cooked. Finally one down, now only one to go. I was confident this guy was my second victim, as I'm far more superior in PvP. But my armor is breaking. It's literally on its last few hits. It should break any moment now. So I need to cook this guy like right now, if I want to survive this. I went in full-on aggressive mode, literally running at this guy trying to cause as much damage as possible in this compact area. But another piece of my armor broke, so now I'm getting a bit nervous. But I had the little guy running out of the house to try to create some space to heal up. But that's when he turned around and noticed that I only have half of my armor set on, so he got aggressive with me. And then the third piece of armor finally broke, and I died, as my friend watched it all go down.